Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Wild Chats, your home for everything animals. I'm Ryan. That's Maria, and we have our special guest, Pepita, today. She was awake and not extra feisty, but I'm sure as soon as she gets put back down, she'll then be feisty because she expects payments for everything. So this guest spot right here is definitely going to cost Maria a treat or two, most likely.
She's gonna be discombobulating for a couple of minutes because that girl is. I gave her a little treat before we started, like as a payment, like, okay, be quiet for the 45-hour or whatever length of time this podcast is. And she's
Oh,
like,
40.
Nope, nope.
Okay.
I shall start charging immediately."
Okay. So good news is we have Pepita as a guest on the show. The bad news is I just found out this is apparently a 45-hour podcast. According to Maria, and I do not have any energy drinks or caffeine or anything. So apparently we're going for it. No, I'm just kidding, guys. That could be interesting one day though. Like we'll just turn on the cameras, hit record on a live show, and just go marathon and see like how long we can make it. That would be that could be a show someday, one day. Then you guys can really see how much Maria and I babble about absolute ridiculousness half the time when we're not
And
doing
the sad thing is this is not really a challenge that is like undoable. It's one of those challenges that in my mind I'm like, hello, we can do that. I mean, I'm sure after 3 hours, one of us wants to go to the bathroom or at least take Pepita out.
Yeah,
Side.
we'll work in some breaks. I think the harder part's just going to be staying awake. I don't think keeping conversation going that long will be an issue. If we work in some breaks, yeah, it would be an interesting show to see how long that could last. And then we could like do it Congress style or like UK or wherever they do it. We'll pull out a fact sheet of stuff when we're like, all right, my brain is no longer functioning. I'm just going to pull up like cat facts and I'm just going to read from the list of facts. And then I'm sure that'll kick something off. Let's go.
Yeah, there you go.
So, guys, today I decided to have a little bit of fun. My dad is in the construction business. I grew up doing some construction work. I think I was the only 11-year-old on the block that was too tired to go play. That was basically the moment that not only did I have ultimate respect for what my father did for a living, but I also decided it was definitely not going to be what I do for a living.
You're not Bob the Builder.
But the Bob the Builder or Fred Flintstone, the man that at one point in life looked very, very much like Fred Flintstone. That was definitely a thing in a good way, not in a bad ragging on my father way whatsoever.
I don't think Fred Flintstone had anything wrong. Like I think he was a good family guy, hardworking.
But just that look, the black hair and the build and everything, like. I can tell you right now, guys, if you were curious, and I haven't talked to the animators of the show, but Fred Flintstone was Italian. I can tell you that much. I know. Basically, I figured that much out because, yeah, at least half Italian because my dad looks like him, and there you go. So at least half Italian on Fred Flintstone.
And I'm sticking to it.
Yes.
Y'all do.
Yes. But so we didn't have too many run-ins on the construction site with animals. Sometimes you would get, the cats pooping in the sand and stuff before you mix the concrete or jumping into the mixers and stuff. So you'd always kind of have to look in the mixer before you turned it on just in case they decided to, because it's a small, like, dark place. So
it's
like
a good refuge if you're trying to escape.
Yeah. And then we so you load the mixer and you go to haul it off. And you want to look inside and make sure there's no cats or anything before you start driving down the road with it. So, that's just. I'm sure if you're in any way in construction or deal with mixers, this is something you've probably already been aware of.
It's called construction etiquette.
Yes, non-animal cruelty, construction etiquette. Oh, look at Peeps. That's a happy young lady right there.
Humanoid.
Mm-hmm. She's like, look at my teeth, all two of them. Aren't they gorgeous? Aren't they gorgeous slanted sideways? Look at me. So today we decided to do the animals construction site. It is a little cat dominant just because, dogs don't get to roam around as much and kind of invade sites. It's not all cats. There's definitely some other animals you're going to be surprised by. But first we wanted to start off with the reasons why cats are kind of problematic on a construction site.
Problematic, okay.
Yes. Because if they can do stuff like this, you can basically... Yeah. That's probably, 2 inches under that door, possibly?
That is ridiculous.
Yes. So if a cat can get under that door, there's lots and lots and lots of places it can
But
get.
did you notice how her or how that kitty's hips, like how it was able to move the hips in such a way that it passes one hip first, like right there,
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
boom, like
Yep.
one hip first and then the other. That was very very good.
I
Peeps
found
is
that
trying. She's doing her hip movement like the cat did.
really. Yeah, Peeps, I'm sorry. You're not that slim of a young lady anymore, Peeps. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
So sorry if I'm do the show the whole time like this, but
No,
how can I tell her? How can I kick her out?
it's okay. It's okay. She's hanging out. She's gonna charge you, so the longer you hold her, the less time you have to pay her. So you're okay.
It is so true. It's like Maria, even if your arms fall asleep and you're crippled for the rest of your life, it's worth
Yes.
it.
Yes, it's called parenthood. It's called parenthood. Yes, that's exactly. Yes. Um, so we know that they can squeeze into tiny, tiny places. But also, one of the downsides of cats is not only can they squeeze into tiny places, but if they can't even find a tiny place to squeeze into, they'll just scale the wall. They'll just acrobat
Oh
kitty it.
no,
Yeah, no. See,
no.
watch this part. Boom, straight wall. Look at that.
That's
You
Mission
can't even
Impo.
do anything.
Oh my god, that's Mission Impossible style.
Yes, exactly.
I gotta say I am shocked. Like that is the most. I mean, I knew cats were incredible, but that surpasses
Yes.
that the ninja move.
Yes, that is. She's like barely got her little one toe on that crack, and then the claws. Like that is impressive.
What a shame that the video ends right there because I want to see. Because now she has to propel her entire body. You see?
Yeah, that's so. Guys, if you ever hear the background in the future, that little snarl. Yeah, that's Peeps asking for payment. Yes.
Oh, you need to pay. I shall pay.
Yes.
Told you she was gonna charge. Now she's sniffing it, sniffing. Oh, well, whatever.
She
We'll
has
see
to
how long
judge-
that lasts.
She's judging your offering. I mean, she doesn't just automatically accept it, Maria. Come on. She has to
Hello.
judge the offering. So there was a story in Beirut, Lebanon. They were building like a tall office building, and they were
Okay.
on about the 12th floor. And apparently, one of the neighbors for like several days straight kept hearing whining and crying. And apparently, there was like a baby kitten that somehow got to the top of this 12-story construction building and found its way up there, and they still don't quite know why. There's a lot of stray cats in the area, so they think it was somehow born and was trying to get away from something, or a noise on the construction site scared it. But the neighbor in an adjacent building had to call animal control, and they had to come and like basically rescue this cat that they had no idea was up there. And they still have no idea how it got up there because there wasn't. But after seeing those last two video clips, it's pretty clear that a cat can get in, even a kitten, through any teeny tiny. I mean, they're not squids or octopus or anything like that, but
Or
they
cockroaches.
oh yes, yes.
If you want to talk about, I know we all dislike cockroaches, or most of us. I appreciate them, yet I don't like them at all.
Mhm.
They are like masters at flattening, being able to hold their weight. Like if you squeeze them, you have to put more force than you think is necessary to actually squash them.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
Ugh.
Yes. No, they as hard as their bodies seem exoskeleton wise, they are very super pliable. I did come across a video clip once, and as amazing as it was to watch, it was equally like, oh god, now I'm even more scared for some of the places that
How they can hold their breath underwater for so long. It's like,
Yes.
no, you're not just gonna drown this animal. Like if you flush it in the toilet, it's gonna still be alive by the time it
Yeah.
reaches wherever it reaches, and it floats for a long time. I mean, they are incredible, as disgusting as they are.
Yeah. That's yeah. Again, I have a hard time. I love animals, but there's some that I'm just not a huge fan of. So that's
Speaking of construction, if you don't mind, in the topic of cockroaches, I was watching a video of why some people should get paid more. And it
okay.
was this guy. They opened like a sewer, and the guy is inside the sewer, and you can see the cockroaches moving around him. He wasn't even inside. He was like in the manhole, like just
Yes.
entering the manhole. And I'm like, oh no, no, thank you.
Yeah.
That
Yeah.
was disgusting. I'll
Oh.
pay you whatever you want.
Yes. Yeah, we definitely, there has to be a rethinking of some things like that. Just so nobody's, we'll call it a person hole so we don't offend it. No, just kidding. I'm not going that route.
Oh gosh. Human hole, whatever. I don't care.
Like disgusting hole nobody wants to jump down into. I think we'll just call it that. Whatever that DHNW
sewer system hole. It literally is part of the sewer system hole.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. The abbreviation got too long. And then there was no vowels, and it really threw me off there.
Yeah, it was a little too complicated.
So here's another kind of, construction site stuck. So this guy they found a cat, and it was stuck in a pit. So this guy nicely stopped his day and had to find one of like the longest ladders they had on the site so he could climb down to rescue this cat that had fallen in the pit. So this guy's taking part of his day, and he's going to go down. They gave him water. Oh wait, no.
That was awesome. The guy takes like half a day trying to get down to catch the ladder to get the kitten, and
there's like a bottle of water, and then like he's got 2 rungs of the ladder left to go, and the cat's like, oh, it's time to go? Okay, I'm out of here.
I mean, I'm not surprised. I mean, cats are ninjas. Cats are ninjas.
Yes, they are. They are.
That was it. I just love the guy's face. Like, are you serious? This just happened. Like,
yeah. He's like, I just got all the way down here, and okay.
That was hilarious. Hilarious.
I'm gonna need Maria's video forensic skills on this next one. I think we're gonna utilize Maria's skills and ability here now, and give me your thoughts on this scene right here.
Oh my gosh. They put a hat on that poor guy.
Is this a real pigeon with a real hard hat on? Is this what I'm actually seeing? That looks like a construction hard hat to me.
I may have to agree with you there.
Okay. Now, if that is what it is it real? I need the video forensics team, aka Maria. Could be a peanut shell, but I doubt it.
I'm trying to stop the video to see if I can figure out what it is. It looks like they literally. Okay, this is gonna sound horrid, but it looked like somebody like glue a little bit of a hard hat because it's too perfect to be a peanut shell.
I agree.
Now, it sounds horrible that somebody will glue something, but if you think about it, in the long run, that thing will fall off eventually.
Yes, but
not that I agree with doing anything to any animals at all whatsoever, but
it would look like it was actually a hat and it was actually real and on the all right. I wanted the video forensics, and it fit ever so perfectly with our topic today. You just get a double payment? She just get a double payment.
She's running out of her treats. Like this is what she's got left, like one.
If you're gonna keep like giving her a treat every time she scoffs, then you're never gonna have any treats. She's just gonna keep scoffing.
Here I'm saying it's her dad's fault that she's fat.
Right. See, exactly. So you can't really blame the other person in the co-parenting situation here.
Nope.
But sometimes animals, they're there at the very beginning. They don't wait till you get to the 12th story. They don't wait until you've dug. I don't know what that pit was for or how that cat got there.
It looked so perfect. Like they were actually. You see, there was
there was like bricks around the top of it. So I don't know if that's the beginning of a well or what that was going to be. But for most construction sites, the beginning of building, you gotta dig. You gotta like lay down some metal, some rebar, some steel, whatever it might be. But when you start building, it's usually once concrete starts getting poured. Once you see the concrete truck show up, you're like, okay, now we're building. We've passed prepping.
Yes.
Yes. So sometimes even in the prepping stage, the animals want to be involved.
I was gonna make a comment about that video.
Wait, is a raccoon?
Yes, he's a coon.
Yes, little raccoon, squirrely looking thing that just he wants to learn how to tie rebar also. He needs a skill in life. Everyone's got to work.
I've actually seen that video, and there are more scenes of that video.
Okay.
So he begins that, and he gets a little bigger, and he keeps getting in the way, and it's just so adorable because people around the coon, they're just fine. Like they know the raccoon is gonna be there, and they just move him out of the way or whatever. And it's just very adorable. They have a couple more scenes with that raccoon as he gets older.
Okay, are they all construction site stuff? This guy's just like an actual like construction raccoon now. He just hangs out on all the sites. So it's this guy's pet, I assume?
I think they just kind of started liking them. Maybe they started feeding him.
I mean, if he's bigger in the videos that proceed, then clearly he grew up, so they must have kept bringing him around.
Yeah, but remember, if you take a month and you're still building and things like that, the raccoon will grow.
That's a good point. Okay.
Even if it's 2 weeks. I mean, if you look at a cat, 10-week-old cat or to a 6-week-old cat.
That's true. Everybody always wonders why you never see baby pigeons. It's because baby pigeons actually stay in the nest that their parents create for them. But they only stay there for like 6 to 8 weeks, I think. But at that point, they look like full-size pigeons. Like pigeons grow that fast.
The only problem with the animals, and I think we talked about this in another video, is the most vulnerable time is when they're learning to fly. Because when they start getting kind of like antsy and then misbehaving and they want to get off the nest and kind of fall off the nest, that's the most dangerous time because they're fledglings. They still don't have their wings, but they're kind of exercising their wings, but they don't have the feathers for flying yet, but they will have them like in 2 days.
Yeah. Gotcha.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, that was always one of the mysteries to me. I was like, why do you never see a baby pigeon? You see all these other baby birds everywhere, but you never see a baby pigeon.
Amazing.
Yeah. But if you do find one, make sure you put a hard hat on them, guys. That way they're sitting on don't do anything to a pigeon's head. Don't do that. If that's how it was attached, don't do that. So now I'm kind of curious, is this either A, the same bird, or possibly B, the same construction sites? Because this guy, the concrete was poured to start doing a little bit of artwork here.
Actually, he did a great job, but the problem is, well, unless it's a deck, it looks like he's overlooking at a...
Oh, you're right. It might not be the foundation of a house. It could be a deck, and they just haven't even built the house yet.
Well, if you look on the side, it looks like a water. Like if you look on the side, you see that.
Yeah.
That almost looks.
What do you guys think out there? Is this maybe like city land and like a water treatment area? Or you're right, that does kind of look like a concrete buffer thing. Or maybe you guys know the actual story to this clip. That would be very interesting to know.
But that pigeon is awesome. I will leave it. Like, honestly, if that was my construction site or if I was building a deck and that was going to be the deck, I will honestly leave it. In fact, in Kalamazoo, if you ever go to Michigan and you happen to stop at Kalamazoo on your way to Detroit from Chicago or vice versa, downtown has the downtown area is a walking area, and it has a very small street, but it's mostly for walking.
Gotcha.
And when they rebuilt it, the concrete was stamped with different leaves and flowers, and so it's very cute. You walk and you see, just different stamped plants.
Yeah, I think it was in Santa Ana. I might have seen it. They did that at like a natural history museum, but they did like dinosaur prints. So the concrete was all different dinosaur prints and stuff. So I thought
love it
cool too. Yeah. But now you have to put your art critic hat on, Maria. So
hold on. Let me take this one off. Let me take the video forensics.
Yep. Yep. Okay.
I feel
All
like
right.
Sheldon in How I Met Your Family. Sheldon from Big Bang Theory. How he does that.
Could have gone with How I Met Your Mother, How I Met Your Father, or Big Bang Theory, and somehow Maria ended up with How I Met Your Family. So there's a lot of different options that kind of would have been understandable, but no.
Well, I have to keep everybody on their toes.
Right. Okay. So now
We're
we
gonna
have
go
the
with that.
critic hat on here, and we're gonna do a little bit of kind of who did it better. Who got the who
Ooh.
wore it better dress kind of thing is gonna be the who did it better portion of the show.
Kitty.
Now he waited till it was a little bit drier, so I thought that was kind. I think his sachet was a little fancier, but he didn't add as much artistic
No,
appeal
he
to his final
didn't.
design.
That would be cool if it was like, but that's a house. The guy's like, are you kidding me?
Yep. Well, but again, if it's a house and a foundation, it almost doesn't matter. I mean, you could still float it. At that point, if the cat footprint is still making an indent, you're still fine.
Yeah. As you're on the edge, you can always slide it and fix it if
Yeah,
it's a
and
little
if it's a
too
house
wet.
foundation, again, no one's gonna see it. It's not gonna be like laying carpet or tile. It's gonna be that much harder with a 2 millimeter cat print.
To me, it will be such an honor if an animal walked through that in my home. Like if I were to build a home and a cat did that or any critter did that, I will be like so honored that they came and left their little blessing.
Yep.
I just think
Even
it's
if it
adorable.
was a black cat, you'd be okay with it as a black cat
Love
also?
it. Oh, I love black cats.
Okay. They're
Mm.
good luck in England and Australia. Black cats are actually good luck. So, yeah.
And if it walks towards you, it's really good luck.
I was reading something the other day too that was I never thought about this, but so we get all these trendy movies that come out or TV shows, and then there's like a run on pets that fit. 101 Dalmatians. There was a run on Dalmatians that all kids wanted them, and then you have some popular show come out. You know, when Harry Potter was out, there were certain animals that were reflected in the movie that everybody gets them, and then unfortunately you end up with this overpopulation of those breeds,
Yes.
and then they end up in the shelters and stuff. So shelters have to be very smart about when they take in animals or given certain situations. And I was reading a fact that said that shelters won't actually adopt out black cats anytime around Halloween because they're afraid that it's an impulse buy, which is the exact last thing you want when someone's adapting an animal is for it to be an impulse buy. It's not
And also, we actually talked about that, but my angle was a little bit more was darker. I said it in a couple of episodes ago that the problem with giving cats away during Halloween and that during October for black cats or black puppies is because they didn't want the cat or the animal to be used for nefarious purposes.
Yeah, they were. I read something about that too, where they're talking about like possible like tortures and stuff like that of animals and thinking they're evil or fitting into some rituals and yes, that's much darker. I was leaving that side out completely. I just went with the adoption one. But hey, thanks for bringing that. No,
It is October, you know.
Good point. Good point. We're getting ramped up a little early.
Yeah, it is pretty sad that as a rescue or as a shelter you have to be careful. And you're right. When Chihuahuas became very famous and popular because of Beverly Hills Chihuahuas,
Mm-hmm.
people didn't realize that Chihuahuas are not an easy breed. They're not.
No.
They are very headstrong. They're very active.
Mm-hmm.
Like, oh yeah, this is a like a blanket type of dog, and you can just sit and read the whole day.
Because they're small.
Yeah,
Yeah.
most of the time, but they're not necessarily always like that.
No.
Like they need exercise. And
Yes.
taking Pepita for long walks, I take her not as long, but still I go almost 45 minutes walk every day.
Yeah. But dogs need that.
Now,
I mean, they gotta stretch their legs. I mean, it's fantastic she can still do 45 minutes. I think that in itself is pretty amazing.
it is.
But yeah, it's so sad because I saw something. It was I was gonna put it in a video, and I kind of have gone back and forth in this, but I'm gonna bring it up now, even though I don't have the photo. But basically, somebody had posted on the window. Now again, I don't know if it was photoshopped or somebody made up the story or somebody did it as a joke, but you having worked at rescues and stuff like that, I'd be interested to get your take on it. Basically, the sign said, if you're dropping off an animal for surrender, please take it to the door next door. We are overbooked. All animals will be immediately euthanized. I thought to myself, well, that's an interesting marketing ploy, because then someone's like, when you drop off your cat, you're not thinking it's going to be killed. And if it is, it's like because no one wanted it after several months of trying to adopt it. So in my mind, I'm going, A, is this true? If it is, it's really sad. And B, is that really good marketing, even though it's really sad?
So that's a hard one to know because you don't know if it was a high kill shelters, but until a couple of years ago in Michigan, many shelters were high kill shelters. Like as soon as an animal was surrendered, they had the option to put it down. Like if they had 10, 15 animals, they choose once a week, poop, we have to clean house because they had too many. How unfortunate.
Yeah.
So that's one side of the equation. The other side of the equation is how do you support the shelters and prevent people from abandoning the animals? And although saying drop it here because it's going to be euthanized immediately is an incredible marketing thing, it could actually be real. Like it could actually be the
Yeah.
case.
There wasn't anything in me that was like, okay, this is totally fake. There's just no way this is real. But I'm like, A, I don't think I'd ever be in that position. But B, if I was, what would that psychological impact be? Where it's just like, okay, I might want to rethink this. I didn't think they were going to just kill my animal. Like,
Yep.
yeah. I would love to
Pepita was
hear.
surrendered to a shelter that for a time was a high kill shelter. And the rescue that I volunteer with, Richland Animal Rescue, they work really hard to change legislation, to work with the local government run shelters
Mhm.
and to help them not become high kill. So how do they work with the community? How do they work with the different rescues to prevent that from happening and removing all those gas chambers? I
Yeah.
that's what that rescue did, and I tell you, that girl worked really hard. The director, she worked for years,
Mhm.
and Pepita came out of one of those high kill shelters because she also knew the director of that shelter. They're
Yeah.
like, "Hey, we got this amazing animal. Please come get it. We don't have any space. Please come
Yeah.
get it." And they will. They had now a network of people to call and ask for help.
Yeah, I don't think people realize sometimes shelters need shelters because they don't want to be doing that with the animals either. But
No.
they've got to stick to the rules that the county has given them, because usually the kill shelters are the county run shelters because they have to do it on a budget and they have to do it within the rules that the county has set up. But the people that are working there clearly don't want it to go down like that either. But
No, no. The lady who was the director, and we're talking about 10 years ago or so, she actually had almost like a nervous breakdown. One of the ladies of the rescue, one of the directors, because it was just so horrible to put down beautiful, loving, perfect pets. Perfect pets.
yeah, it kind of goes back to that vet thing we were talking about when people put down their pets and they're not in the room. There's just so many, there's a perspective that we don't always get to see. And these poor people work so hard and they do it because they love animals, but then they're working for a county facility, so they have to go by, and then county can only has so many cages and so much room, but the torment that they have to go through, that's definitely,
It's
you
very
know,
unfortunate.
yeah, there's certain people that go out of their way to thank the janitor at a high school because someone's got to clean up after all those kids. And if they didn't, like, there's just unsung jobs that I don't think other people appreciate. That if they weren't around, what would your life really look like? Uh,
Yes. And something as simple, I collect towels and blankets and I give them to one of my neighbors. She volunteers for the Humane Society and another local rescue in the area. And I give her towels and blankets and things like that, as many as I can gather, because
mhm.
you will be, they're doing laundry the entire, every day, a lot. A female just gave birth. How many towels do you think they're going to use?
Yeah,
Just drying the animals or creating a makeshift blanket or somewhere where they can lay comfortably.
yeah,
It's a lot of work. So next time, you guys, if you're thinking about getting rid of blankets, and I mean, of course, take him to a place where children can benefit from it. Don't toss them away.
Yeah, definitely. I would like to hear from people, guys, down in the comments, and we'll post something on the social posts. We always do everything we bring up in the show, question wise or hypotheticals or whatever. We put it in the social posts for YouTube, and we put it over on Patreon. It's in a free section on Patreon. You guys don't have to pay anything. Just trying to build the community. But I'd love to hear your guys' perspective on if you saw that sign in a window, or do you think that sign is effective? Would it make people rethink? I would just like to hear general philosophies on a sign that basically says, whether you have an animal or not, I'm not saying you're there or you have an animal, any of it, just a breakdown on different perspectives of, there's a sign on a shelter that says, if you're here to surrender an animal, please go to the door next door. The shelter is full. All surrenders will be euthanized immediately. I would be very interested to see. I think he was real also, and then I thought that's pretty good marketing. But again, my mind goes to marketing first because that's just something that I think about. So it would be interesting to get other people's perspectives on it. But
I wouldn't put it past to be true, and I wouldn't put it past to be marketing. Both of them at the same time could be
yes,
just as true and as valid. And it sounds horrible, but I mean, Pepita got surrendered. She didn't even go through the system. Like, they didn't even put her in the back room. They kept her at the office
yeah,
because they knew she's very small. She was very fragile. She was really thin. And she was about a year, maybe a year and a half old. So they didn't want her to be stressed out in the back. Now she's stressing
so
me.
payback. All right. But not
She
all
overcharges.
sites, as we circle back here, are like home local construction sites. Sometimes you've got to like clear your land before you build. Sometimes you get a nice plot of land and you got to clear it out before you construct, or you're the government and you're creating a new road, whatever it might be. Sometimes you got to get into the forest a little bit. But the further you go into the forest, the more likely you are to run into critters that are definitely not cats and dogs or birds and hard hats. So there were some Brazilian construction workers that were on a job site. And as they were doing what they needed to do, they came across this guy. It was a 33-foot anaconda. Now, this one is photoshopped. I wanted to throw in a few. That's, I think, the real one. It's either
I actually cannot see it, so hopefully you guys can.
Okay, it was the first one or that one, but we're doing a little slideshow of really large snakes on forklifts to show.
The cool thing is I've seen some of those videos, and one of the videos I talked about it. So even though I cannot see it, like it didn't pop out of my thing, hopefully you guys can. And is that the one where they had like these forklift and the snake was there?
There's two of them, yeah. There's one where it's just the snake, and then there's one where it's a guy's head and the snake's next to him, so you can get a proportionate. But that one looks a little photoshopped. But I think the one you're talking about was the one I said I think this is the real one. But basically, they were blowing up a cave in preparation to work on a dam when they came across the 33-foot long, 881 pound, or 400 kilograms if you go kilograms, and it was 3.2 feet in diameter. So it was a meter around, this anaconda.
Hopefully it was still alive.
Yeah. And it says that the snake, the dimensions haven't been confirmed, but a crew shot a video of it, which I could not find. But yeah, sometimes you're building a dam in the middle of nowhere, and your construction site terror is just a teeny tiny 1 meter around anaconda that's 33 feet long.
I can't even conceive. Yeah, that's about these wide.
Yes, it's not tiny.
It's not this.
Now, one of the problems, of course, that we have in the world today is people are taking habitat to build houses. And when you take that habitat, you end up with animals that are used to where your front yard is now, used to be their range the last time they came around that season. Or their general range. I don't think
turtles, like turtles. That happens a lot with turtles. There wasn't a house there, then there is a house, and that's where they used to lay their eggs. And in Florida, you see them a lot. They will go to your yard and just dig, and you kind of know that that's a nest, so you don't touch it.
Gotcha. Yeah, there was I guess in Liberia, they were there were some elephants that came in and basically trampled like the villagers' coffee crops and property and stuff. But the reason, which is almost even worse in my mind, is the elephant was running because they were cutting down trees in their habitat. So it was running away from the sound of the chainsaws and everything, cutting down the trees of its habitat, that then caused it to rampage into the village. It's like the triple whammy of like, you already took its habitat, so it's close to your village. Now you're taking more and then scaring it into the... I just thought that was like...
That's
dumb.
a nightmare scenario. It's a nightmare scenario.
Yeah. And unfortunately, and this isn't the video of that, but these are the type of things that happen when you have elephants and you take their habitat and they're near villages. Is they're not construction site terrors. They are, you're going to need to start some construction now. You're welcome site terrors, because that building doesn't exist anymore. Good luck start building, guys. This next building he's going to isn't going to exist much longer.
Again, I unfortunately cannot see it. Hopefully you guys can.
Okay.
I don't know why it's not popping up for me. But again, if you can see it, the funny thing is now I'm looking at the small clips and I can see the anaconda.
Okay. Does it help if I full size it? And there's neither of us showing. Can you see that?
No.
Nothing. Okay.
No, but now I can see the anaconda, which gives me some hope that people can see. But the good thing is you're describing what's going on, so that should help a ton.
But it's kind of a shack village where they've got like plywood buildings and stuff, and the elephant just basically runs right through a shack at the corner of this intersection of the roads. And then he goes into the neighborhood, and they were saying there was text underneath saying that basically he came from the habitat that's just outside of there. I didn't get a chance to read the entire story, but yes, essentially, again, and that happens a lot in India, Africa, a lot of other areas. Like there's a lot of elephants in different parts of the world. I mean, the Asian elephants are smaller, but they can still do a heck of a lot of damage because they're small for an elephant. That does not make them small.
Exactly. I mean, they're bigger than a horse. So if you've seen a horse like a Clydesdale, it may not be that tall, but dimensionally, they're very big.
Those horses are amazing. Like, okay, here's another one in the comments, guys. Please tell me your first impression of a Clydesdale. If you've ever seen a Clydesdale or any of the really big draft horses.
The Budweiser horses.
That's where I saw mine for the first time, was there at the in St. Louis. I went to the brewery and they had the horses there. They've got all the stables and everything. Man, those guys are, I mean, yeah. There's certain animals you're just like, I had no idea. Like moose, guys. Moose are really big. Like really, really big.
Gosh, yes, they are.
And it's funny because you don't really, I always think it's so funny when you're like, oh, it's a Canadian Mountie riding a moose. And it's usually a photo or a drawing or a painting. You're like, that's probably not even a real thing. And even if it was a real thing, I'm not really paying attention to, wait, this guy's leg doesn't even reach the bottom of the horse's stomach. And then that's...
Or in this case, the moose's stomach.
Yeah, that's what I meant to say. I apologize. And then you're also not accounting for like the extra 3 or 4 or 5 feet from the bottom of their stomach to the actual ground.
They are incredibly gigantic, and when you actually see them in person and they're in front of you, you just feel their magnificence, if that makes any sense to anyone. But when you're around large animals like that and you get to feel their magnificence, you get to just kind of like, wow, you take it all in, and it's just, it's breathtaking. It's breathtaking.
So this is supposed to go into another video, but I have to show it because it's just like, there's 2 of them. I'm only going to be able to find one that doesn't quite show how big the animal is.
Well, think of a big, fat, gigantic cow with longer legs.
Yeah, but like a lot taller. Let's see here. I'll find it. Give me 1 second. So this is down the middle of the street. There's nothing for perspective, but you can still tell.
Look at this big fella here.
Can you see that, Mark?
Yeah, I can hear it. I can.
Wow, Kalia, look at him. He's huge.
That's
look
an
at
SUV.
Hey there, bud.
Twice as big as.
Hey there, bud. You
Yeah,
gotta.
hey there, bud.
Yeah.
Look at his mirror. Do you see the mirror on that car?
No, I'm not gonna touch it.
Oh,
Hey there, bud.
maybe he already ran into
Hey
him
there, got a
earlier in the day.
Yeah,
got
don't
a beer
bother
there,
the
bud,
critter.
huh? You just gonna send it?
I mean, this is
Yeah.
that thing is just ridiculously huge because these are like his stomach is coming up to the top of like that little family wagon that just drove past it.
That is a majestic creature. Honestly, it is. They're just majestic. I told a story a couple of episodes ago about going to Estes Park and seeing the moose right there. And they're just in the city. And I was so happy to enter the gas station and tell the guy about it. He's looking at me like I was an idiot. And I was like,
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I get you. I understand that you see those all the time. But we're tourists. Sorry
Yeah.
if we bother you. You know.
It's funny because you don't ever like. There's no point in time I've ever watched a cartoon and thought this is in any way educational or realistic or anything. But if you watch Rocky and Bullwinkle, you're like, oh yeah, the squirrel's smaller than the moose. But like in real life, the squirrel wouldn't even like come up to the hoof part of the actual moose itself. Like it would
Trying
be,
to make that dimension.
yeah, it would be like 1/80th of the size of the moose.
Like it will be on the hoof. Like you're right. The squirrel will be on the hoof.
Yeah, basically. So it's like, yeah, I don't know.
Very so people think, oh, they look like cows, whatever. They are one of the most dangerous animals you'll find in Canada. Don't mess with a badger either, like a wolverine. But when we talk about they look like gentle giants, yeah, right. Yeah, right.
Well, I did have the idea of doing a gentle giant video, so they might end up in that video, but they'll be gentle, whatever clip I pick. For the video. I'm going to sell the gentle side of them if it fits the theme of what I'm going for. But
and then I'm going to say something about it that will refute it because that's the way we are.
Well, that just makes it a little more fun, right? Maybe we'll do a full, just all the aspects of it, and we'll just do a moose fact video. I think we could probably find enough good information for. We're kind of doing the biggies first, guys. So hopefully you've been checking out the fact videos. You guys asked for them. I hope you asked for them. I don't know where I learned how to talk the last day or two. You asked, we delivered. So we've got some fun animal facts videos out now. So these are entertaining, and we like to chat and share information and stuff off the top of our head. Some stuff we're just not right about, and we'll put corrections on occasion in the social posts, or we'll let you guys correct us, which is fun too. But some people wanted some more like informational, like factual. I want to know about some of these specific animals. So we started doing the specific animal fact videos. We're trying to take care of like the biggies, because most of the clips that I find that we show on the show, I mean, there's certain animals that are just going to get more film coverage. There's just not that much film coverage of water animals, because you got to be underwater to film them, where you can just pull out your camera and film a moose walking down the street. So we're doing the biggies, but after that, I am actually interested to hear some suggestions about animal fact videos that people would want to see. I mean, we're doing lions and tigers and bears and cats and all that stuff.
Tigers, lion, bears, oh my.
Yeah, I mean, if you were to grab like an animal cracker box, we probably will have covered all of the animal cracker animals.
We should do that. We should throw the cracker thing and just grab one, and that will be the video that will come up next.
And that's how we're going to decide the fact videos, is by just rolling animal crackers like a dice and saying, all right, guys, so whatever animal video comes out, well, I think we have one or two scheduled already, but whatever animal video comes out like next week is probably because Maria really just wanted animal crackers, and now she has an excuse to eat them. And so we could pick the animal that we were going to do. That's it.
No, the idea I have is at the end of one of the fact videos, whatever is recorded, but we can begin. If we haven't recorded, like we throw the crackers, pick one, and that's what we're gonna record next.
Okay. And then
we don't have to throw them because we don't want to be that, but just grab one. If we already did it, I'll eat it, and then
like a ticket out of a bucket. And no, you're not gonna eat it. It's just for picking the animal. This is for show purposes, not snacks, right? You're gonna just then put the animal crackers away or donate them or give them to peeps or something, right? You're not.
You eat those things, don't you?
Yeah, but I feel like if I start this trend now, then all of a sudden it's going to be like every episode you're going to want to like, damn it, we did all the animal crackers. Hold on. All right. If I get an elephant and a giraffe, that means we're doing raccoons next. Like Maria's got to have a formula for how she picks the animal crackers.
I love how clever. Ooh, it will be really fun. You grab 3 of them and be like, okay, what's the commonality among them? And then come
Right.
up with a critter.
And then you're going to
Okay, now we're going too far.
Right. Okay.
Sorry.
Well, here, since we're already kind of on this path, then let's do this one because we like to do fun hypothetical questions. If you could create a hybrid animal of any 2 animals you want, no, I'm going to do 3.
Yes, please. 3 is more fun.
Animals you want, what would your Maria science created hybrid animal be?
And you guys come up with your own, and Ryan, you
Yeah, that'll be fun. Yeah, all in the comments, the social posts, guys. Again, Patreon or YouTube. Go to the community posts, social posts.
Well, to
3
me, there are
hybrids.
animals that are already too perfect. Like to me, our logo animals are too perfect just because they're extreme opposite, and their qualities are very incredible as hunters and as mimicking or blending in, or
Okay.
lack of there.
Okay.
So they'll have to be a jaguar or a lion or a tiger, one of them. And I wanted to fly. You know what? That actually sounds like a manticore. That was already created.
Basically got manticore. You got flying big cat so far. Okay. Okay. See, but here's the caveat. I actually didn't tell you you could pick which parts of the animal we were going to use. All I said was you could pick 3 animals to create a hybrid.
I know. I picked the wings of the eagle.
No, you can't. That's what I'm telling you. I never said make a hybrid and you get to pick the pieces. You get to pick the animals and I get to Frankenstein what it looks like afterwards.
Oh, okay. Perfect. Love it. So I want combo me this.
Okay.
Combo me now I'm excited. Can I use a mythical animal too?
No, because mythical animals are usually already hybrids of other animals.
A dragon is not a hybrid of an animal.
Okay, fine.
Okay. We got a dragon.
Okay.
We got a jaguar. But if you don't pick the wings, then we didn't do anything. And I want a monkey. Let's see what happens.
All right, I'm going with a scaly big cat with the monkey tail that's prehensile. So you've got a scaly big cat that can climb trees and then use its tail as like an arm. So it actually can like have essentially an opposable thumb by using its prehensile tail, but it can't fly. We didn't get dragon wings. We just got dragon scales that are covering the cat.
You missed the best part.
Well, that's because I knew you wanted it. That's like just, I have a little sister. I mean, that's just in my nature to not give you the thing that you wanted.
I got a cat. I'm happy.
Then how do you throw in the monkey? I mean, you got the wings on the cat. Then what?
I would have done it differently, but okay. I love the idea of the tail. Like that was super clever.
Okay.
Because I was going with something really horrendous. Like my mind went to something really horrid. Once you said you were gonna put it together, I was like, "Ooh, let me make it really horrid." Okay. So I almost had the head of the monkey, the claws, and the body of the jaguar, and then the wings. And that's what I was going for.
All right, so we'll do yours, but then we'll make the animal fire breathing. So you got a fire breathing monkey head on the cat body with so you got the front and the back of the monkey because you got the head and the tail, and the sides of the dragon with the breath, and then the rest of the body is the cat. Is that?
But I need wings, and then we have the perfect Chimera.
The side of the dragon would be the wings.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah.
Now we're talking. Okay. Chimera, check.
Right. Okay. Guys, hopefully, unfortunately, Maria did study genetics in university, but as long as we don't give her the Jurassic Park tools, we will all be safe from a rampaging, fire-spitting monkey, dragon, big cat thing. So we can. Can
you imagine? Now let's put the head back of a cat, and I love the scale idea and the tail idea with wings. I think that'll be the perfect animal.
Okay.
It couldn't swim, although a jaguar can swim. And with the scales,
It's like paddle swim, and then if it's got scales, then its fur isn't like repelling the water, which is what cats are good at, actually.
yeah, but that's what crocodiles too.
Right.
And fish
Good
have
point.
scales.
Good
so-
point. Okay. All right.
Make
I
it really shiny.
I still think an orca could take it out if it fought in the water. So now we're gonna do battles. Okay, so we'll take Maria's animal versus an orca. Who would win?
No, you come up with your own hybrid and then we'll see who wins.
No, I just came up with the fight. I want to know what people think
With
about
a
animals.
mosasaur. With a mosasaur.
I don't know. The orca could take out like great whites and stuff, and they hunt in packs. I think your animal's not going to do too good in water to begin with, and fire breathing in water is not going to do it any good.
I tell you one thing. Orcas are, in my opinion, one of the most, actually the most dangerous animal in water. Like, forget sharks. They are the most dangerous. I was watching a video of an orca pod hunting a seal.
Mm-hmm.
And the seal jumped on the boat. Well, the orcas got really upset and started rocking the boat.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
They were not happy about this situation. And they are, hence the name killer whale.
Yeah.
I mean, they are relentless.
Yeah, well, their name originally was Whale Killer. I don't know how it got flipped to Killer Whale, but I think Whale Killer, the name might have been created, and I'm saying this realistically, I think it was created in Spanish, so then when it got translated out, it got reflipped since the descriptive words are at the backside in Spanish. So I think
Interesting.
I think Whale Killer.
Is that a fact, or you're making it up?
No, I'm honest about the Whale Killer. Their name originally was Whale Killer because that's what they did. They were witnessed killing whales. So
They used to be trained.
Yeah, when boaters.
There were people who.
Yeah, name them. They named them Whale Killer, essentially. How it got to killer whale, this part was just my guess, but the Spanish and the Portuguese were some of the biggest seafaring nations at that time, which would be, Portuguese is essentially Spanish. I apologize to any Portuguese people.
Is Latin based.
But it's, yeah. So
Romance.
you would flip the descriptive word, so maybe when it got brought to English, it got flipped into killer whale instead of whale killer, possibly.
You know what? That would be an interesting thing to research. That would make sense. Like if we were to guess history, I actually think it's fun to guess history or guess why something is the way it is, and then be like, based on observation, you're pretty much right.
A couple episodes ago, we threw out the fact. I don't know what video it was. It was after Dogs and Cats, whatever the video after that was. But we threw out the fact that dogs are mentioned in the Bible like over 10 times, and cats aren't mentioned at all. And then I threw out my philosophy of why cats were not mentioned in the Bible, and I just chalked it up to they were so loved by the Egyptians, and since Egyptians weren't necessarily pro-Hebrew at that point in time, and Moses and all those stories, that maybe they were intentionally left out of the Bible just as they're definitely not our animal kind of animal. Just a full-on guess. But how did this thing happen? I like to take guesses. So I got Whale Killer to Killer Whale, and I got why cats weren't mentioned in the Bible. I'm gonna start my own book of Ryanisms. Like this is like unfactualized history by Ryan and his thoughts on the world.
I actually think that'll be hilarious because that's how most people, unfortunately, how many people rewrite history.
Well, it's also the internet. I'm sure I could write that down as a fact, and within like a decade, all of a sudden it would be a fact, and I'd be like, I did that. I totally did that.
Actually, I have a story for you about that. And I know we're going away from construction, but we're also building our own culture in the way. I know these are a construction site.
No, we built an animal. We built an animal.
We did. Yeah. Instead of build a bear, we built an animal.
It's kind of construction-y.
There you go. We're going to go with that. So my aunt was telling me that her friend wrote a book about cooking and things like that.
Okay.
And the new pots and pans that were coming out had Teflon. Mm-hmm. Well, the older pots and pans were just aluminum or iron, and you could use a spoon and nothing will happen.
Yes.
And what was happening is in Colombia at that time, most people had cleaning ladies, and they will cut things in the frying pan. They'll just cut them there, therefore ruining the new pots and pans that had Teflon in it.
Yes.
So what this woman did is she said it was bad luck to use a knife on pots and pans. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And it became part of the cultural baggage of the country that it was bad luck.
the irony is that's actually true because Teflon's actually a little bit toxic. So
It is.
it's off of a pan and you eat it, aka if you're dicing on it, eventually you're gonna chip off a piece. Yeah, that stuff's not really, not that safe. But
Not
guys,
at all.
these are the fun conversations we like to have on Backstage once we kind of veer off the animal subjects and start talking about other random stuff. So guys, in the comments, please tell us what your Chimera builds were, because I'm really interested. Also, tell me who you think would win between an orca pod and Maria's creation of her big
Or
cat
make
dragon.
your own and see. Like, I want you to create your own scenario. Like, build your monster who will win against an
We're
orca.
going to ask them to do both. They're going to build a monster. That'll be one thread. And on another thread, we're going to say who would win in a fight, a pod of orcas or Maria's Chimera, big cat, dragon wing, fire-breathing monkey thing.
Maria's Chimera.
Yeah, we'll do that.
Okay.
I hope you guys enjoyed the show. We always enjoy doing them. We really, really do. Do us a favor, guys. Please click the subscribe button if you are watching us on YouTube. It really helps get the content out there, helps build the community, and the sooner we get those numbers up, the faster we can do live streams, which I think will be fun for you guys, and it'll be a lot of fun for us, because then we can build these chimeras in like live time and have these debates on who would win the battle and talk about some of these other fun things that we like to just bring up amongst ourselves, and we can do them with everybody else. And I think that that's going to be a ton of fun. If you're catching this in an audio podcast, please follow us, like, and of course, guys, comment. We want to know what you guys think of the show. We really do read them and listen to them. The Facts Animals show, those were built out of people that were asking for that. So we made it. So whatever we can do or whatever your thoughts are, we're not going to do everything you suggest, but please give us your thoughts, and we love the feedback. It helps the show so much. Thank you so much for watching, guys, and we will see you next time.